Let's bring in former U.S. Marine veteran Chad Robichaux. Chad, it's great to have you on. I just want to know what you think. I mean, you've kind of been watching this coverage all day. You see, we had pictures of the former president getting on a plane to go, we don't know where because we haven't been told, but to apparently go somewhere. Chad, what do you think about the day? What's your big thought on this? And when you first heard about this, what struck you?
Yeah, well, first I want to say, I'm so thankful that President Trump is okay. I mean, right before the shot went off, you've seen him tilt his head like 1 second before, and I think it's providential that would happen. I thank God for that. Secondly, I want to say to anybody else involved in this, any nefarious actors in this that's behind the scenes, look, a quote from Theodore Roosevelt, it's going to take a lot more than that to kill a bull moose. President Trump is a bull moose, and he and the American people will not stop fighting. This will not deter the American people to continue fighting to restore America to the nation we love. What I've seen today is something that should never happen in a free country, should never happen in America, to where any political opponent would face something like this. Democrats, Republicans, left, right, we should all be speaking out against this kind of violence against a political candidate. President Trump is not a former president only. He's the leading presidential candidate, and he deserves the best security. So to answer your question, what stood out most is why that shooter would even be in that roof. Before a personal security detail is conducted in a place, there's a security vulnerability assessment. Anyone would have looked at that environment and said, where are the vantage points for a shooter to be? That rooftop was only 130 yards away, an easy shot for even a modest shooter. And I'm not pointing the finger at anybody, but maybe it was didn't have the manpower, but someone in a detail should have identified that rooftop and said, this is a vulnerability spot. We need to secure this threat with a clear vantage point, a plain, clear line of sight to shoot the president from this rooftop. And that building should have been secured, or a counter sniper overwatch should have been on that. They had civilians telling police officers and Secret Service members that a man was crawling with a rifle. Some civilians are saying that he was up there for 3 to 4 minutes. I applaud the Secret Service for what they did today to get President Trump safely out of there. But someone needs to look into, why did a shooter get on that rooftop with a clear vantage point to where he was standing on that podium? That should never happen. Anybody that knows anything about security vulnerability assessments would have identified that building as a vantage point and a threat, and address that ahead of time. And that's a big question, needs to be answered.
What about the report, Chad, that it was identified, that some people did actually try to point that out, saying that there was somebody climbing up this building? Do you think it was ignored as nothing? Do you think it was it's something they didn't have the resources to handle? Or do you think that somebody assessed that it wasn't that big of a threat?
Yeah, again, when you look at something like this, you get not just the former president, but the leading presidential candidate for this upcoming election, and they should have all the resources, all the manpower to be able to address something like this. And if they identified this building as a vantage point, then it should have. I mean, I could just look at it from a map. Anybody can see it. You guys put it up several times today. I mean, even an untrained person should look at this and say, yeah, if I was a sniper, if I was a shooter, if I want to do harm to the person speaking on that podium, President Trump, this is where I would be. And, the Secret Service is very trained in this. They should have had all resources pointed to that threat, and either secured that rooftop to where it didn't have access, or had a counter sniper element right on top of that. And he should have never got on that rooftop. And, thankfully I'm thankful that the Secret Service counter snipers shot him and killed him. However, there should never been shots fired before they shot him. He should have never been there in the first place. And anybody that knows anything about these security vulnerability assessments should know that. And the Secret Service and anybody involved in the detail should have to answer for that. Because we have a long time ahead of us before the election. And President Trump is someone that's going to be targeted. And unfortunately, that's just the reality.
Yeah. Chad Robichaux, your insight is valuable as always. Thank you for coming on, sir. We appreciate it.